Good evening, folks, or afternoon, as the case may be. Here we are with another sports report. My friend Gary Patterson and I are shedding tears.
We are indeed. It's 2 days after the Super Bowl as we film this.
2 days after the Super Bowl, and
Yeah.
we're not happy.
No, we're not.
No.
We're disappointed.
Take the floor.
Well, we are 2 days since the Super Bowl, and it was a tough loss. There's a lot going on with the team right now that we don't know what's going to happen. But it was a really disappointing loss. The whole Malcolm Butler thing, as we sit here, basically remains unexplained. Belichick, of course, isn't going to say anything. Butler, as we were driving here, issued his statement saying that he did nothing but hang out with his family, and all these crazy rumors going around are all false, and he's going to be ready to play football next year. But it's not going to be here.
I don't think so.
I
think he has played his way out of town.
Yeah. And the question is why? Because I know that over the last 2 or 3 years on this very show, Bill, you and I have both been fans of his.
Oh, no question.
Because the kid has shown up to play every day.
Yeah.
Played 98% of the snaps
and sticks
this
his
year,
nose in there.
and then stood on the sidelines while the defense got lit up, like it all came tumbling down. The house of cards that was that defense came knocking down, and they could have used them on the field. Let
me just mention 3 names to you as you continue on. Eric Rowe, Johnson Batamozzi, Jordan Richards.
Yeah, all played while Malcolm stood on the sideline.
Unless Malcolm Butler has a broken leg, there is no way these 3 guys should be playing in front of him.
Absolutely.
I tell you what, I'll make a prediction right now. Batamozzi won't even be on the team next year.
Right. I suspect that's true.
He looked like
Unfortunately, neither will Malcolm, though.
Batamozzi.
It's hard to figure. To me, Gilmore's come on and played well, but to me,
terrific.
Even though he had some problems this year, Malcolm Butler did not have a great season this year in the regular season. But to me, he's still the best corner on the team. I think he's better than Gilmore. I think Gilmore's good. We were all so excited about the possibility of the 2 of them playing together, and at times this year when they did play together, the one thing we had was the secondary. The one thing that defense had going for them was the secondary. And now,
I think two things. I think Gilmore's a better football player. The last 3 or 4 games.
Yes.
He answered the bell.
He played great. No question.
But this is all about money and hurt feelings.
Yeah.
Malcolm Butler is still nursing a grudge, as far as I'm concerned.
Right. And the question is Bill and the Patriots nursing a grudge? And if they are, why? Why?
He's gone.
Yeah, he is definitely gone.
There's no way he'll be here.
And I'll predict we'll be playing against him next year.
Oh, definitely. Oh, I can see him up to Buffalo.
I'm going to give you a crazy scenario. Okay, you want to hear my crazy scenario? No. He goes and signs with Seattle, who in turn releases Richard Sherman, and Richard Sherman signs here on a 1-year deal like Darrelle Revis signed here on a 1-year deal.
Is he going to stay in shape?
Well, he's hurt, right? He tore his Achilles. So is he healthy? If he's healthy, Darrelle
Revis on that 2nd year of his contract put on a few pounds.
So a 2-year deal with Richard Sherman that they can get rid of him after 1.
Know what? I'm going to tell you something. You've cheered me up.
And Pete Carroll signs Malcolm Butler. The ultimate irony. The guy who's intercepted the ball on the goal line to steal the Super Bowl from him.
Yeah.
Seattle signs Malcolm Butler. Richard Sherman goes out. Richard Sherman ends up here. Remember, you heard it here first.
Yep. Remember that, folks.
Yep.
Now, I got to ask you a question. If there had been a rule, an NFL rule, you cannot talk to anyone who is involved in the playoffs until the Super Bowl is over.
Yes.
Okay.
For
But
coaching,
you know,
yeah.
the only fair way to do that, though, would be you cannot sign anybody till the Super Bowl's over. Period.
Yeah, anybody, all the teams, right.
Would they be knocking down Patricia's door to get to him after that yesterday?
I don't know.
Or
I
day
mean,
before yesterday?
I had friends at the house, and we were discussing it during the game. I brought up this very point to them, and they laughed and they said, "Geez, can you imagine being a Detroit Lions fan watching that game?"
Yeah, and
And
saying,
you're saying that's our new guy.
Yeah.
That's the guy who's supposed to lead us to the promised land,
and
that's his defense getting totally annihilated. Yeah.
he's already been signed to a secret contract.
Yeah.
There's no way Detroit can back out of it.
Right. But and I'm sure that the Detroit organization, and to be honest with you, I think it's from a fan point of view, from a frustrated. You talk about another frustrated franchise, right?
Yeah.
The Detroit Lions, been a long time, right? And they think they have a quarterback, so they go out and get a new coach, and you're watching his final game in his former position, and his defense, and then you realize as you're watching it that, of course, during the regular season, his defense was whatever, 27th, 28th. Did well on points scored.
Bend, don't break.
Yeah, and they did well in the last 6, 7, 8 games.
Yep.
Didn't give up a lot of points, but it was a house of cards, as we
broke.
see now.
They broke.
They got broke. Yeah. But I think honestly, looking at it and thinking about it for 48 hours and watching a little bit of the game again last night.
Oh, you're
painful
just
as
a
it was,
sucker for punishment.
I did. I watched the tape, and Philly won that game. But I actually think Patricia did a good job because you know why? Because the talent on our defense stinks. We have when you look at the linebackers that we had out there, there was a running play to, I think it was Blunt actually, in through, or he cut in through the middle of the line, and they showed the long view on the replay, and as the play began, Roberts was there, Van Noy was there, the Eagles blockers came through, Roberts went literally flying in one direction, Van Noy went flying in the other direction, and Blunt had a hole you could drive a truck through. The linebackers on this team are...
David Harris,
I think
didn't even dress.
Didn't work out.
No, it
Never-
didn't
right?
work out, and they weren't using him to the second half of the season.
So, I mean,
mean-
I think they need like 3 linebackers. Because I love Dante Hightower, but you
I loved
cannot
him.
count on
Yeah.
Dante Hightower.
You can count on one thing: he's going to get hurt.
Right. So what you hope for is that maybe you'll get 10 regular season games out and you can get them healthy for the playoffs.
Oh, wouldn't that be sweet?
Right? That's probably
I'll
your
buy
goal,
that. That's
right?
great.
Which means you need 3 more linebackers.
Yeah,
right?
you
need to totally rebuild it.
Probably sign 1 and draft 2, or sign 2 and draft 1.
Plus now you're going to need a corner.
Well,
Because
you're gonna
Malcolm's
need a
walking.
corner, yeah.
You need a starting right corner.
Yep.
So
Well, let me tell you, the line, which I thought was coming on, was neutralized. I mean,
Yeah.
Philadelphia's got a great offensive line.
right. Like,
They handled,
with ease.
here's
Yeah.
the thing with the Patriots, and I don't know whether they're going to be able to explain this or not, but it seems to me that Belichick says, I'll pick him up off the waiver wire, sit him down, I'll straighten him out. He'll learn the Patriot system, and he'll go out there and play. And he's done it time and time and
Yep.
time and time again. Doesn't always work.
Right.
Instead of, and he doesn't draft, he has a couple of times, but, and Hightower is a massive monster.
Right.
That's the kind of guys,
That's the problem with Landon Roberts. He's too small.
yeah,
He's
6'2",
he's
220.
too small.
Yeah, I mean, he is buried.
And he's, he can move a little bit. He's not blazing fast, but he can move.
Yeah.
But he just gets, when it comes to a one-on-one.
Van Noy, I think, in a 3-4, with some coverage
Yeah,
responsibility, I think you can live with him.
I think Van Noy's on the team next year.
I do too.
I do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I like him.
And I'm not even sure Roberts isn't on the team. But the point is, they need to.
Listen, you know what? let's draft somebody.
Oh, they
And-
need to draft more than one. I mean,
Well, yeah, with a Landon Roberts in mind. See you later.
right.
And the secondary, we've got problems there.
Well, you need a corner.
Yeah.
So,
And you know, Chung goes out there and he plays his heart out. He's probably the best tackler, although McCourty's good too in the open field.
yeah, you know who I think the best tackler is open field? Malcolm Butler.
Yeah. I tell you what, he sticks his nose in there.
Look at that. There was a play in the Super Bowl in the second half, 3rd and 7. They threw a little 4-yard pass, right? Batamosi was covering him because Malcolm's on the bench. Had a clean shot at him.
And missed him.
Takes him down there punting at that point. They went on to score a touchdown. And,
Was that the one where he tried the one-armed?
Not
tackle?
really.
No?
He just missed him. He
Yeah.
was over by the sidelines. It was just it was a 3rd and 7. It was a little flare out, like 3-4 yard flare.
Mm-hmm.
He had him,
Nail him.
right? He hit him, but he just bounced off him.
Yeah.
And Malcolm Butler makes that play 99 out of 100 times. He brings that guy down.
Yeah.
So, but he wasn't playing. So,
Yeah.
I just from being around in the last 48 hours, I sense a lot of real deep fan frustration that's directed at Belichick as to why didn't Malcolm play.
I tell you this, he's gone
Because there's
from
been no explanation.
He's gone from saint to sinner
Right.
in
just
one game.
But even if you knew, which they did, right? Both of them knew that Sunday morning that was Malcolm Butler's last game in New England. They knew it. But it's the Super Bowl. So, if it's true that Malcolm really didn't actually break any rules by doing whatever he allegedly did, and he's saying today that he didn't, he absolutely didn't. He spent the time with his family.
Ian Rappaport said in the walkthrough Saturday,
Yeah.
he wasn't paying attention.
And they said he had a bad week of practice, whatever
And
that
a bad
means.
week of practice. And when Sunday morning arrived and you put on your bad face,
Yeah.
he didn't put his on. That's kind of what Ian Rappaport is saying. Now, you can take that, and $2 and go buy a can of Budweiser for what it's worth. But I don't know. Rappaport
If that's
seems-
true, you can say shame on Malcolm, but you can also say shame on the coaching staff,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
He has coaches.
Yeah.
If
And
you're a
what was
coach,
he-
your job is to have your players ready to
What was
play.
he doing crying on the sidelines?
Yeah.
That-
So what? If you weren't going to play him a single play, why'd you even trust him?
there's a lot more questions here than
Right.
there are answers.
Right. But I mean, you saw the game.
Yep.
They couldn't stop anything, and they desperately. That whole second half, the whole game hung on one of those defenses, somebody making a play. Their guy finally did. Got the strip sack of Brady. Last 2 minutes, game over. You win, right?
You know-
Nobody on the Patriots could make a play. Malcolm Butler is a guy who's obviously, we've seen it.
We know
he
he
won
can
a
do
Super
it.
Bowl. He's capable of making a big play in a big game. He's done it. He's a guy who can do it. Hightower's a guy who's shown he can do it, on more than one occasion. And unfortunately, Hightower's hurt. Malcolm wasn't hurt. So I don't know what the deal is. And even if Bill's pissed and he's gone, this is his last game, why isn't he on the field? Isn't winning the game the
Everything.
single
It's
top
everything.
priority? Isn't
Everything.
Isn't that
Yeah.
we're the Patriots. Isn't that what we do?
Yeah. And also, we lose sight. Everybody's down. Everybody's, Belichick,
Right.
this and Belichick that. They came back and took a lead,
Right.
33-32.
Right.
All right? And you caught lightning in a bottle. You this 40-year-old man out there.
Yeah.
If there was an MVP in the game, it was him.
Oh, you can't hang anything on Brady. He was fabulous.
But they're never going to pick somebody from the losing team.
Honestly, in my mind, you put up 613 yards of offense, and you lost the game. While a guy that personally I would say is in the definitely in the top 20 corners in the league.
Oh, no
Stood on the
question
sidelines.
about that. Yeah.
Stood on the sidelines,
Crying.
crying,
Yes. This.
while your pass defense just got torn to shreds.
Yeah.
And the guys who you put in instead of that guy got burned
Oh.
time and time and time again.
Yeah. To start,
That, I mean, I honestly feel that decision not to play Malcolm Butler cost them the championship.
Eric
It cost them the championship.
Eric Rowe
Yeah.
is a sixth D-back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, maybe seventh.
Right.
But
And so,
I mean, it's not that he is useless. He's not a starter.
yeah. So I think there's, we're going to hear more about this, and I can tell you, it's certainly, if Malcolm Butler is standing behind his statement that he made today, it's in his interest to get stuff out there because he's not coming back here. He's a free agent.
This.
Somebody could be willing to pay him, if everything's clean,
Only-
12 to 15 million dollars.
Only if they believe his story.
Right.
But
Bill's
if
put a
there's
cloud over his head.
any doubt in anybody's mind, his value got cut in half,
Oh yeah,
if not worse.
yeah,
Brady at 40.
yeah.
What can you say?
Spectacular. He did everything. He did everything humanly possible
That's
to win
right.
that game.
Except for run 100 yards with the ball, except for
Well-
returning kickoffs, he did everything he could.
Except for catching that ball over on the sideline.
Well, you know what? I got to tell you something. That was uncatchable.
It was close to uncatchable. I don't know. He got his fingertips on it.
Yeah.
The ball was
the
6
only,
inches
I
too
think
long.
the only way you could make that is if you could tip
it
that thing up.
Yeah.
But he's not a receiver.
No, he's not a receiver, but that would have been a good play.
But
And
isn't it
then
interesting?
they turn around and run the same play on us.
Yeah.
On that
Isn't
fourth
it
down.
interesting that both teams had the same trick play?
Yeah. And, honestly, it's painful to lose, but you got to love Peterson, their coach.
Oh,
He went for it, man. He was like, we're playing the Patriots. The heck with this.
he's got him about this size.
Fourth down, we're going.
Yeah.
4th and 1, we're running our trick play with
Yep.
the pass. Oh, by the way, it's the same. What do you know? It's the same play they just ran. So now we're going to run it. And
He said, we're not leaving anything on
he
the field.
pedaled to the metal.
Yep.
So good for him. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Everybody before the game, right? When you have the check boxes, you get the coaching. It's Belichick and it's Peterson. Check Belichick, right?
Of course.
But the actual results of the game, check Peterson.
I will
Over
say he
Belichick, right?
out-coached him. But
I would say he out-coached him.
Outmanned him.
He outcoached him too. I mean, honestly.
The X's and O's I'm not sure of. But as far as the strategy is concerned, as far as taking the chances, he did it. He did it. He went all out to win.
And by doing so, keeping your team kind of on the edge in that game. You heard Brady say after the game, and he was right. We never really were able to play our game, right?
Yeah.
We were always just trying to,
Helter-skelter.
helter-skelter. And
that's not the Patriot way.
And, and I think part of that was Peterson. He was very aggressive in that game. And his players responded.
Also our, let's not blame it all on Patricia as far as the mess was concerned. But Josh, was his head 1,000% in the game?
Yeah. So the only question you're going to have on the offense is the first half, right? They didn't do great in the first
That's
half.
right.
They left 4 points on the field on special teams.
Yeah.
4 points in the first half on the team. When they do the check marks, that's the other one that's always checked on the Patriots side is special teams, right? Not on Sunday. So, they missed some third down conversions. Gronk was very quiet in the first half.
Yeah, and then he come out
And
in
then
the
he came
second
out
half,
just
and it
firing
was
in the
like
second
King
half.
Kong out there.
Yeah. So they were unstoppable in the second half. I mean, they never punted. We never punted.
Never. No.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you a question. Stephen Gostkowski
Yeah, the highest paid kicker in the league.
is
Highest
he on thin ice?
He could be.
I think so too.
He's missed a lot of big kicks in the last 2 years.
And there's some kids coming out of college who's just automatic.
Yeah, he's making $4 million a year.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, a couple of these kickers, rookie kickers,
Yeah.
didn't miss a PAT all season long.
Yeah.
I mean, and they gun it right down the middle. Gostkowski fades an awful lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Some
Well,
of the-
he hooked that one the
Oh,
other
yeah.
day, hooked it left. And that's the point, though. He misses them both ways.
I know.
He misses them left, he misses them right.
Yeah.
It's just, he makes a bad kick. and-
Some of the guys are absolutely dead straight kickers.
On that extra point, that wasn't even close.
I know.
And as Bill Parcells used to say when he coached here, I can get somebody from Foxborough High School to do that.
Yeah.
And you've got the highest paid kicker in the league,
Yeah.
$4 million. You draft a kid in the third or fourth round, like they did Gostkowski. That first contract, you're paying him what, $300K,
If that.
right? So now you've got another $3 million you could spend on a linebacker.
I would suspect Gostkowski's going to get us walking papers.
I think he could.
Yeah. As I said, there's a couple of kids. I was watching some college football this year, a couple of different games. I was a couple of teams I like watching. Florida State's one, and the kicking was excellent.
Yeah.
These guys are gunning them in from 40 yards right down the middle. Hell,
Yeah.
we can save $3.5 million.
So I got a question for you. Don't you think, that I hold him accountable for the field goal too. I know it was a bad snap. Took him a second to get it going. He was out of step. He got his foot on it. He hit it. It hit the crossbar.
Yeah.
It was a fraction away from going in. But I hold him accountable because I got a question. Don't kickers practice that?
Over
I mean, what else do
and
they do?
over
What else do they
and
do?
over.
Don't they practice where there's a bad snap
Yeah.
and their timing's screwed up
Yep.
and they basically just got to get the foot,
Yep.
Don't they,
Yep.
they said, well, it's a bad snap, so it's not his fault, And it's kind of like, what else are they doing all day? Are they, they're at practice every single day. The offense is working their stuff. The defense is over here. The special teams are over here. What are the kickers doing? So I would think if you were a good special teams coach, you would make your kicker practice that
Until his leg falls
it
off.
got screwed up.
Yeah.
You're already in your motion. He drops the ball. All of a sudden, you got to stop it. Then you got to kick it.
Yeah.
We should practice that, shouldn't you?
I would think so.
Yeah.
Now the other thing, though, and I will say this much about Gostkowski. I don't know who came up with the idea of the kickoffs landing at the 4 or 5 yard line
Yeah.
or the 3 yard line.
Well, they give Bill credit for that.
Yeah, but I think it's a great strategy.
I do too.
Yeah.
Because their coverage team has been very good.
And Gostkowski appears to be pretty strong directionally.
Yeah.
So if he says it's going right, boys,
Yeah.
then
And if you decide that you don't want to mess with the receiver, he's got the leg to kick it deep out of the back of the end zone.
exactly.
Yeah.
If you've got some guy
He can
back
do it.
there,
Yeah. So that's true. That's
yeah.
that's a good trait.
Yeah. Now the punter appears to do well on that also, dropping the ball
Yeah.
from the 10 to the 0
Yeah.
to the goal line.
And
So-
supposedly Bill likes having a lefty punter.
I know
right?
it. The spin on the
Spin
ball.
It
Yeah.
goes the other way. And I don't know. I don't recall a whole bunch of them getting fumbled this year, but Alan, the issue is Gostkowski because of the money.
Yeah,
He's
absolutely.
the highest paid kicker in football. His cap hits $4 million a year. If you did draft a kid or sign somebody else, you might free up $2.5–3 million.
Is Vinatieri a
Right?
free agent this year?
I don't know, but a lot of them are, right?
Yeah, they don't. sign
Kickers
for
are a funny
long-term
bunch. But the whole idea of having Gostkowski was because he was so consistent, because
Yeah.
you didn't have to worry about it.
And-
But you just look at the last 2 postseasons, never mind the regular seasons
Yeah.
where he's had his issues. It'd be one thing if he said, well, he screws up a few in the regular season, but every time we get in the postseason, boy,
Yeah.
he's
money in the bank.
money in the bank.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been money in the bank. So I think he's at risk, yeah.
I wrote this down while Gronk was still in the concussion thing. Is Gronk okay? That was obviously one of my keys to the game.
Yeah.
He's more than okay.
Yeah, he played well.
Yeah. he threw a couple of good blocks out there too. I mean, he collapsed one of the linebackers.
Yeah, he's a very good blocker.
Yeah, very good blocker. Yeah. The Troika, Belichick, Kraft, and Brady. Are they still in love?
Well, yeah, I think they're okay. You know, I think they had their differences. They're going to talk it out. I don't think it's a breakup.
Yeah.
You know,
I think you're
they have some issues they need to all get in a room and resolve.
You know,
they probably do.
It's like Social Security.
Yeah.
We know that the Social Security Fund is going to be in trouble in the year 2029 or 2031, depending upon how the numbers. If you take a half a dozen reasonable senators and you take them to a room and lock them in there,
Yeah.
3 from each party, and say, fix Social Security.
You can't come out till you do.
That's right. Yeah. And let me tell you, the food gets crappier every day you're
That's
in
right.
there. And if you're in there 7 days, you're going to be down to bologna, sandwiches, and water.
Yeah.
It can be done. And I think that this can be done too.
Yes, I do too. I think they'll work it out.
The coaching staff, bye-bye McDaniels, bye-bye Patricia.
Yeah, both officially gone. Yeah.
And now I heard a teaser, I think it was on WBZ Sports on the radio, they lost somebody else too?
Yeah, I think they might have. There was some talk they were going to lose the special teams coach, which after Sunday, I'm not sure everybody would be upset. But, I haven't heard that that's happened. I think they lost an assistant. Maybe another
that's
level.
going to work for McDaniels.
McDaniels,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that was the
an
tease.
assistant line coach or something. Yeah.
You know, we have fun
Yeah.
talking.
Yes, we do.
And I don't think there's a mean bone in either one of our bodies.
Right.
But we have fun talking about sports. And every once in a while, we kind of get off the rails. And,
It happens.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you something. This kid, Alex Rima.
Oh, yeah.
Rima.
Yeah.
How stupid can you be?
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
has, now, he's only 24 years old. He's a writer and a talking head on radio.
Yeah. I've heard him a bit as a talking head. He's on in the morning sometimes.
Yeah, and he
morning
writes
drive.
blogs for
Yeah.
EEI.com.
Yeah.
And when I found he was 4 years old, I started skipping his stuff.
Yeah.
They don't know what the hell they're talking about half the time. And but I got to tell you something. Here is a kid, nobody to blame but himself, but I'll tell you what, he's flushed his career down the toilet in Boston.
Yeah.
I mean, criticizing or making fun of Brady's 4-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very just stupid. Yeah.
When you see,
I mean, I've heard him. I hear him on the radio occasionally in the morning. I don't really like him because, to your point, he doesn't really know what the hell he's talking about. He's a kid, and but yet he tries. You know, some of it. He tries to be opinionated. Right.
That's the problem.
Right.
He hasn't grown up enough to be opinionated.
The knowledge base.
Yeah. I mean, you got to earn
And that becomes clear when he gets confronted as his style on morning talk radio, right? So
when Joe Fitzgerald,
there's not much there.
that writes for the Herald,
Yeah.
when he makes a criticism, you listen to what he says.
Yeah.
When Nick Cafado for the Globe writes an opinion about baseball,
Yeah.
you say, there's a certain weight to that because he's been around, he's well respected, he's not a backstabber. But when some kid starts yapping, and you're right, and saying stupid things to get sound bites.
Right.
And I'll tell you what, that goes for the guy on EEI, Minahan, in the morning.
Yeah, well, he's on with Minahan. That's when he's on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Minahan. Yeah, they're both kind of preoccupied with drawing attention to themselves.
Exactly.
know.
You wonder how the hell Callahan can put up with the two of them. He
Yeah.
seems to, but
Yeah, money
Nah.
money talks.
money talks is right.
Yeah.
So, the Pats dynasty. I'm not ready to bury it.
No.
No,
As we sit here, they are the Super Bowl favorite for next year
Yeah.
at Vegas.
yeah.
If you want to place a bet right now, they're the number one seed.
Yeah. So, Brady has proven that he can play at 40. I don't think he's going to go off the deep end at 41.
Right.
Gronk is the best tight end in football.
Yeah.
Now, do you think?
So here, let me ask you a
Yeah.
question. Offensively, I think they're pretty well set, right? Maybe they need to fortify the offensive line a little bit. I'd like to see him get another. Nate Solder is a free agent, so you have to think about that. He's 30.
This was a good year for him. He played well.
He played well in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So, but either way, you need some depth. Now, they drafted a kid in the third round last year. I forget his name, but supposedly they really liked him, but he was out all year. Not because of an injury, because of an illness.
Yeah.
And then he lost
Yeah.
a bunch of weight, and so who knows? But so on offense, they're pretty well set, with the exception of the one big question mark is Deion Lewis. He's an
He's a
unrestricted
free agent, and he's going to be very popular,
He's going to be looking for some money.
and he's going to get it.
Right.
He's not going to get it from the
Right.
Patriots, so.
I don't think so.
No. So
So him leaving leaves another hole. He was a good weapon. They held him off early in the year because I don't think Bill thought he could last a full year. His history.
Oh, yeah.
He hasn't had
Yeah.
a full year yet in
Right.
his career. He gets hurt.
Yep. And he
So they-
ran inside with authority.
Right. So
Now-
the first 6 games or so, everybody was like, "Where's Deion Lewis?"
Yeah. Yeah.
And all of a sudden,
Bingo.
down the stretch,
Yeah.
here he comes, and he stayed healthy.
Is there such a thing as reincarnation?
I believe so, actually.
Could we reincarnate a young Corey Dillon?
Yeah. Well, you know what? You can find those guys.
Oh,
You can really find those guys.
he had everything I want in a running back.
Yeah.
Plus, he was as tough as nails.
Yeah.
And he would play this in-your-face football.
Yeah.
Like Jim Taylor for the old Packers.
Yeah.
He had a touchdown.
See, to me, Deion Lewis is probably going to leave. Even if he leaves, I don't see running back as a huge top priority.
No.
You're going to need to bring somebody in one way or another. You'll add a player, and it could either be a draft pick, but you can find a way to do that. Really, when you look at the team, what is it? It's defense, obviously, right? The defensive line, they've got some pieces. They need to fortify the defensive line. I'd personally like to see them fortify that line with a veteran, even if he's an older guy. Basically replacing Alan Branch with a player who plays to the potential.
Alan ate his way out of the league.
He did. But his first year here, he was exactly what we needed.
He was a force.
That guy in the middle.
Yeah.
So find that guy.
Remember we got Ted Washington at the end of his career?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those guys, you
Those
can find
guys
those guys.
exist.
And they want to come because they want to win a championship. So those
Exactly.
guys you can find. It was Howie Long a year ago.
Yeah. Yeah,
So it'll be somebody else next year. So hopefully you get that. To me, it's all about the linebacker core. I think this team needs to get 3 linebackers. I mean, they've got 3 picks in the first 2 rounds of the draft. I wouldn't be sorry if they used all 3 of those picks on linebackers.
I'll tell you what. What I felt the Patriots missed this year, Julian Edelman.
They did.
He is the extra thing in that offense.
Right.
Out of that slot, 7, 8, 9 yards, unstoppable for all practical purposes.
Right, so you
and
don't
what's
know.
that do? It frees up Gronk.
Right.
Can't double team Gronk anymore on that side when you put them on the same side.
So they'll be looking for his replacement. I think they'll be hoping he comes back. Right?
Oh, I think so.
And he will come back. It's just a matter of how much. Is he the same guy?
He's one of those guys.
In the meantime, they're going to be looking for his replacement, but they won't. They'll be looking to find his replacement in the late rounds, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7.
They always do.
Right. That's where they
always
find
do.
these guys.
Yeah.
So to me, it's all about the defense. You just put up 613 yards in the Super Bowl and lost. So
That's a sin.
it's all about your defense. You have zero pass rush. So I think you got a couple people on the line. You need to fortify that. The pass rush really needs to come from the outside linebacker, the James Harrison type player.
Do you know something?
We need to get a James Harrison. That's
He
not in
wants
his
to
40s.
play next year.
And he actually was one of the few people that brought any pressure at all the
You
other
know
day.
what? I'd sign him.
He did. Well, yeah, you got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
1 year deal.
Absolutely. Want
Bring
to
him
play
in.
another year?
If you don't like him, you can cut him.
That's right.
Right. So even if you did that, you still have to get more linebacker help.
Horses. You need
Yeah,
horses.
You really do. And I'm talking high, first or second round picks.
Do you know?
'Cause that's when the good linebackers in this league get picked, first and second round.
Do you think that he could get a pair of twos for the one?
Yeah, perhaps.
Yeah,
I'll tell
and-
you this, and you can take it to the bank. There is no way he is going to make that second round San Francisco pick. He's going to trade that pick because he is not going to have a drafted player who's always going to be known as the player he traded for Jimmy Garoppolo.
Is that going to be a mistake?
No, he'll roll it. He'll roll it into more picks. I don't have a problem
Okay.
with that. He'll move
But
down.
I mean, giving up Garoppolo.
Oh, yeah, it may be.
Yeah.
It may be. But I honestly think they had no choice.
I think you're
My
right.
issue is that they didn't get more in return. I thought,
I know.
they're going to get the 10th pick in the second round.
Yeah. He wanted desperately to send him to the
You know,
West Coast.
if it's true that in the spring,
Cleveland was calling.
Cleveland was calling with the 4th pick or something.
That was
Some
a-
people say that's true. Some people say there's no evidence of it. But I'm surprised
now,
they didn't get
there's
more.
somebody-
And you had, since they made the trade, I believe it's Cleveland who said they wouldn't return their calls. And it appears that it hasn't been a direct quote because the Cleveland people leaked it to their media.
Yeah.
Was that they were willing to give up the 4th. They got the 1st and the 4th pick in this draft. They were willing to give up that 4th pick for Garoppolo, and they couldn't get a call back.
Do you know that writer in Cleveland that wrote that story also said that they were willing and ready to give the Pats a couple more draft choices?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm shocked he didn't get from San Francisco, the way he loves those 4th, 5th, 6th round
Oh,
picks.
absolutely.
Yeah, if it's only a second, you got to throw in a 4th.
Yeah.
It could be
Yeah.
next year. It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
this year. It could be next year.
Give me a 1, a 3, and a 5, and you got 'em.
Yeah. Which is what he usually
and
does.
He'd laugh all the
right?
way to the bank with that.
Right.
Ah.
So, it's too bad. I would have loved to have seen Jimmy, but I personally think Brady's playing at least 2 more years.
I think so too.
At least 2.
Unless he is hurt.
Right.
And Giselle says,
Right.
that's it.
Right.
Final numbers. You got on our little contest, you
Oh, yeah.
got 151 wins, 121 losses. I got 146 wins, 126 losses.
Those are 2 good scores.
We beat the Globe. Everybody on the Globe we beat, except I didn't beat Nora Princiotti.
Yeah.
She wedged by me a couple of games there. Other than that, we beat both guys on the Herald.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Let's see what we do next year. Huh?
Yeah. That's 2 good years in a row. I think we both had winning
Yeah.
records last year as well.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
So, give me that thing here. I get a couple of things off the board.
Okay.
I was looking at the Bruins game the other night,
Yeah.
and they're all skating around out there. And there's number 73 and number 74, number 88 and 99. And this high number stuff is really getting stupid.
Yeah.
Every team should be told, here's your Hall of Fame. Get a room in your building, put in a picture or a bust, whatever, of the player, his record, and his uniform hanging there with the number. And put the number back in circulation.
Oh, put the number back in circulation.
Yep. So
Yeah.
that we got 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s playing defense.
Yeah.
I mean, never mind number 67 and
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't understand this business about, well,
Retired numbers.
you know, yeah, Rick was a great player, and no one else is ever going to wear number 83 again on my team. We're going to run out of numbers.
You know who really started that, though? Red Auerbach.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Canadians, well, Toronto didn't retire anybody. But of course, hockey was different if you go back in the
Original
in the
six.
30s,
Yeah.
because they didn't have numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, original 6, yeah.
Yeah. But the Canadians and Toronto both retired very few numbers.
Yeah. Honestly, it was red.
Yeah, it probably was, now that I think about it, because the Yankees retired a bunch, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He even had put Lasky up there because
Yeah.
he had already
Oh,
retired.
Lasky,
his number.
yeah, sure.
Right?
Yeah,
He wanted to
18.
retire two
Yeah.
guys who wore the same number.
Yeah. Brad Marchand
Yeah.
is a talented kid, but he's incredibly dumb, and he's hurting the team.
Yeah, he made that stupid thing.
He should be out of chances. If you say to yourself, as the National Hockey League, we are committed to taking dirty plays out of the game.
Yeah.
No excuse for what he did.
Right. So
What-
a repeat, multiple time repeat offender. Was
5
it the
games.
7th time he's been
What-
suspended
yeah.
or something?
So what's going to happen next time?
Right.
I think it triples. I think he goes to 15 games.
Yeah.
Well, that's about what he deserves.
Yeah. So I saw that play. You know, when I first watched it live, I didn't really catch it. It looked like he went kind of flying through the middle there, and then when they showed the replay, and you could see he absolutely threw the elbow. There's no question he threw the elbow. He knew exactly what he was doing,
And he never has denied doing it either.
and he never has
Yeah.
denied it. So, you know, if you really, really wanted to get rid of it, I think the question is for a guy who's just been suspended for his 7th time. Maybe you needed to suspend him for more than 5 games. You know, maybe you really wanted to stop, suspend him for 15 to 20 games.
That's right. And
It'll stop.
if you want it to stop doubly,
Yeah.
you say to the Bruins, guess what? His next suspension,
Yeah.
you're losing your number 3 draft choice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to take a third
And then
round
the
pick.
next time afterwards, you're going to lose your number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you've got a bozo that's out there that's keeping on doing this, you're going to lose your number 1.
Okay,
It's
I'm
gotta
okay
stop.
with that. Now, if the team were to trade him, would that go with him? Those kind of
Oh, yeah.
restrictions?
Yeah.
So to his new team, it would be, okay, if he does it again, you're losing a third
That's
round pick.
exactly
That
right.
hurts his value.
It does.
Oh, the union will be all over it.
Oh, I know. I got to go back to the football game again.
Yeah.
Chris Collingsworth, I thought was going to have a stroke. Well, he said, I don't know whether it was a catch or not.
Yeah.
And he said, no. He said, look what the New York is saying. He said, you explain this to me. Well, Al Michaels must have said, shut up.
Yeah. It was, that was a tough call. You know, that call is a problem, and it came up.
Yeah. All Collinsworth kept saying was, explain to me what the rule is
Right.
and why this is or isn't a catch.
I mean, looking at it under the way I would like to see it called, both of them were touchdowns. Mm-hmm. Both of them were touchdowns. Mm-hmm. And, you know,
I
I thought the first one was closer because, again, if you look at the rule, though, you know, they've been reversing these things all year that I thought were touchdowns.
Yeah.
You know, I thought we were screwed in Pittsburgh.
The ball came out.
Right.
The ball was being
He had the
juggled.
ball, and it was moving in his arm.
Absolutely.
And as it was moving, it was very close. His left foot came up, right? And it still was moving a little bit. Then he fully secured it, and that left foot came back down out of bounds, clearly out of bounds.
Clearly out
right?
of bounds.
Which means the call was that was not. He had possession. That when he had possession when that foot came off the ground, and it just didn't look that way.
No.
It just didn't.
No.
And you know, there's been calls like that where that was the call. calls that you thought were going to be catches all year.
Yep.
On whether it was the
Are we
Patriots games
changing
or any
the
of our other
rules for
games.
the Super Bowl?
Right. But nobody knows what it is, and that was
think-
his frustration.
I
is
think
that
that's what Collinsworth
you honestly
was
don't
saying.
know.
Yeah.
You honestly don't know. They go to New York, and you don't know. Because
Now the second one,
I don't know
when
how
they
they
came
changed
when
that.
they came back from the ad, they came back and Michaels immediately said, "Well, here's two reasons why the call was like that."
yeah,
And one of them was when he took a certain step, he became a runner.
Become a runner, yeah.
Yeah. And a runner just needs to break the plane.
right. He took 3 full strides.
If that is the rule, okay, that you don't have to follow it to the ground, that a receiver can be a runner.
Right, that is the rule.
Yeah. Then that
And when
was
you
the
look
right
at that
call.
play, again, I thought it was a good play. He caught the ball. He was falling, or he was leaning, right? But he took 3 strides. He took 3 full strides, and then he went to the ground. So by taking 3 full strides, I would agree. He's not in the process of catching the ball. He's running.
That's right. He's a
Right?
runner. Yeah.
But that whole thing, well, if you're a receiver, then you have to take the ball to the ground. But if you've transitioned to a runner, then you don't have to take the ball to the ground. So it's just,
It's
you're making it
stupid.
more complicated than it
That's
needs to be.
exactly right.
Right?
Just decide what it is
Right.
and go with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, this is a new problem, and it's all because of replay, right? The fact that
And they
even
can-
though replay was put in all sports originally to fix obvious mistakes, it is now used to dissect and analyze everything. It delays games. I hate the way it's used in the NBA now. These NBA games just stop. You got a game going, pressure up and down the court, it just stops. It takes them 5 minutes to go over and put the
Then you
headphones
got-
on. Meanwhile, you got a guy in New York who's making the call.
And
What
you
are they
got-
even putting the headphones on
You
for?
got 3
Why don't you just get the
referees
call
standing
from
there.
New York, right?
Yeah, I mean, for God's
Yeah.
sakes.
And it's the same with football. It's,
Yeah. And baseball.
and baseball.
And
all of them.
baseball.
And
Now-
so it's like replay on steroids. It's just,
Yeah.
it's gotten out of control.
Do you know baseball?
I kind of like the fact that every once in a while the referees screw it up.
Yep.
It's one of the nuances of sport, right?
Hockey and the offside.
And sometimes it goes your way, and the offside's 20
Yeah.
seconds after the fact.
But
you know?
I will say about baseball in the instant replay, I want to know whether it was a foul ball or not.
Right.
All right. So I think that there is a good. But when they start going to check swings and stuff like that, they're going way out of bounds.
This is the problem I have with it, Duff, with all of it, across all the sports. By the time the officials even get together, the viewers have seen it 3 times
Yep.
already.
Yep.
You already know. We've seen it all. So baseball, the umpires all come together. They talk to the manager. Then they come over. They bring the stuff. Meanwhile, in the first 15 seconds, we've seen the
Yeah,
replay.
and you know what?
So why are they doing all that?
Yeah, I know.
Right? Why in the world we live in of wireless communication? Why doesn't he have a plug in his ear directly wired to New York? And they're like, it was a foul ball.
Yep.
Play on.
Yep. Yep. Exactly right.
Don't go out. Get you all over there. These guys.
Yeah.
They all get over there. They put the things on. They're sitting. They're just waiting for the guy from New York to tell them what the ruling is.
Or Toronto.
Why do you need to do that?
Yeah.
New York, if the fans watching the game know within 10 to 15 seconds, that should be all the time.
That's all you need.
Right? No, and so the referee doesn't make the call. So what? Somebody who's got a better view of it makes the call.
Other than that,
That's the way it is.
Other than that, I thought the game was well refereed.
I did too.
Yeah,
I did too.
Gene Steratore.
I thought they did a good job.
I think him and this couple of other guys.
They let
that
him play.
I really like.
They let him play.
That's it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And they didn't call the small stuff. They didn't call much at all,
And you know,
actually.
hockey is the biggest offender, though, when it comes to the playoffs.
Yeah,
Then the referees, I'm going to let the players play.
right.
Well, why the hell don't you do that all season long?
Yeah,
It'd be a heck of a lot better game to watch.
yeah.
All right. The most important question,
Yep.
if you were to give President Trump a letter grade for his State of the Union address, what would it be?
Oh, for that particular address, I would give him a B plus, and only because he's some of the delivery was a little bit disjointed, but more stylistically
Yeah.
as opposed to
I gave him an A minus.
Yeah, that's a good grade
Yeah.
too. I mean, I thought he performed really well. I thought he didn't go down into the trenches, and he tried to reach out.
Yeah. I wish he'd stay out of the trenches.
I wish he would too.
Yeah.
Everybody does, but he just can't. He can't help it.
No, he's
can't help
a street fighter.
He's a street fighter, and I think there's a real, as dismaying as it is at times, I think it's a strategy for him because I think he identified early on the fact that the media was going to tear him to shreds, and he attacked them even before they started attacking him.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He started attacking them before he even announced he was running. When he was still a private citizen, but he knew he was going to run, but he hadn't announced, he was already on the attack.
Absolutely. He had to be.
And that was a strategy because he knew they were going to rip him to shreds.
Absolutely.
So, as you say, he's a fighter. But I think as a strategy, you could say it's an interesting strategy, whether you like Trump or hate Trump.
I love him.
It's a very interesting strategy to say, I'm going to preemptively go after them and try to discredit them.
Yep.
Because I know they're coming after me.
I just wish he'd tone it down. But otherwise, I'll give him an A minus for the presidency.
Yeah, I do too. And I think, and I agree with him that I think he's visionary in that Twitter is a way and social media is a way for him to communicate directly and not have to go through the filter of the media.
I know it.
It's just, and I just think if he would just skip some of the name calling, right?
Yeah. What was the surprise gift the president received as a direct result of the address?
I don't know.
Well, he's got red hair and he's awfully young. And I thought that little Carrot Top Kennedy
I watched that. I watched that.
Out of his league with that address in his shirt sleeves in an abandoned factory.
Yeah.
I mean, why didn't they hold it at the Norfolk dump?
Yeah. And he had the chapstick thing going on there at the... Because I was watching and I was doing that. I was like, what is that on his mouth? What's going on there? Is he drooling? Is it...
Oh.
Because it was very noticeable because the lights were shining off it. These television lights were shining off of that. And he was in Fall River.
Yeah, an old abandoned dungeon in Fall River.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So
this was hardly a Kodak moment for the young man. And I was truly hoping that his nanny would come out with his jammies over her arm and his bottle and take him off to bed.
So what year do you think is in his mind? 2024 or 2028?
Well, he's decided he's not going to run against
he's not running
for governor.
This time.
No. And he's not going to go for governor. But he's got to win the governorship to get that governing experience.
Right, so he's in the House now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's in the House.
And now he may go for the Senate because Ed Markey is a disgrace.
Yeah.
Golly. But
he's in the House,
Yeah, and I would think that 24 would be... I would say that would be the year to go for governor, because he couldn't possibly run for president in 24. Unless he could win the governorship in 20.
Yeah.
That would give him 4 years as a sitting governor.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I think he has those ambitions. Right? Obviously, his family.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Okay. He'll be around for a while.
Yeah.
Longer than us.
I got some other stuff here, but I forgot to mention our special guest is Riley Smith tonight.
Riley Smith?
Riley Smith was a Bruin. And
yes, he was.
They overpaid him, gave him a contract that was a little too much. And, we'll get rid of him. So they traded him for nothing. And now he's with the Las Vegas Golden Knights. He was picked in the expansion draft. He's played all 51 games. He's got 16 goals, 25 assists, and he's second on the team in plus minus with a plus 24.
Plus 24. He would look good on our second line.
Wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, and on the power play, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Why can't we get players like
yeah,
that?
why
as Bob
can't
O'Kelly
we?
used to say.
Hey, by the way, Malcolm Subban is
well, right?
not doing badly.
Yeah.
Out to
That's what I hear.
Las Vegas. Yeah, and do you know they are? I think either 1 or 2 points behind Tampa Bay for the most points in the league.
Yeah, first
That is
year expansion,
got to
right?
be.
It's amazing. It's supposed to. You remember the first round of expansion, of course. You go back
Yeah,
with me all the way.
6 wins or 9
Yeah,
wins,
when
and
they
that
added
was
the
it,
Western
you know?
Division, and all those teams were terrible. We went for a number of years where whoever won the East was just basically had a 4-game sweep of the West, and you won the
That's it.
Stanley Cup.
Yeah. 2 quick questions. The lady wins $560 on a million on Powerball up in New Hampshire.
Yeah,
Doesn't want her name released.
yeah.
Should she have the right to privacy?
I believe she should.
I believe that too.
Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
she should.
Although
If her name gets out there, she will be besieged. She will have to move.
yeah, she will. Yeah, and
Yeah.
every bum in the
There will
world will be
literally be
after her.
people just pounding on her door.
And I thought maybe, just maybe, one of my weird little thoughts. But I'd like to go back down to Washington, D.C. and maybe revisit some of the stuff down there.
Yeah.
The White House and all of
There's a
that
lot
sort of
down
thing.
there.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Holocaust monument or the thing they set up for it. So I was thinking to myself, I'd like to do it. I said to myself, it would be a civilized way to go would
Yeah.
be Amtrak.
Amtrak, I love Amtrak.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, we take it to New York City. See my daughter.
Three times it's derailed in
Yeah.
the last 2 months.
That's
human
concerning.
error.
Yeah,
Who the heck is running the railroad?
yeah.
I'll drive.
This last one, apparently they had the switch down because they were replacing it with the new fail-safe switch that
worked
would've-
well, huh?
That would have prevented this. And it's like, okay, so you have it down and you're bringing trains through.
Yeah. Well, we
does
can
that
bring
work?
a man to the moon and
Yeah.
bring him back,
Yeah.
and yet we can't figure out how to keep trains off onto separate tracks.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. Well, folks, we'll end up there.
Yeah.
And don't get too serious about drowning your sorrows about the Patriots. I
Yeah.
think it's going to be a fairly quick bounce back.
Yeah, I hope so. They got some work to do.
They'll get some work.
They're going to have a new coaching staff, new players.
Red Sox have some work to do too. We'll
They have a
deal
lot of
with
work to
that
do.
next time.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. So, folks, good night.
Good night.